Okay, good morning to all of you. I welcomes to all in our lecture series on mechanics. That is your core paper 2, and we are discussing unit 4, topic is oscillations. This is our lecture number 14, 1 4. Lecture number 1 4 14. In our last class, that is your lecture number 13, we have been discussed about steady state of a forced harmonic oscillation. Steady state in detail have been discussed in the last class, so I suggest to all of you that you go through the last video, that is your lecture number 13, before you have to watch this video. Okay, in detail I explained whatever written over here, and the mathematical derivations, this one also in detail we have been discussed in that video. Up to this much, up to equation number 14, we have been discussed. Today, that means in this lecture we have to discuss the rest of the derivations up to equation number 16. Then we have to go for the new uh, topic of the forced harmonic oscillation, that is called resonance. Okay, so again I suggest that two things I have to suggest: write down the note properly, perfectly, and before you have to watch this video, you go through at least last video. Okay, so we found that amplitude of forced or driven harmonic oscillator will be equal to A equal to F0 whole divided by omega square minus p square whole square plus 4b square p square. That is your equation number 14. This equation number 14 we got by squaring and adding of equation number 12 and 13. Okay, now we have to dividing equation number 13 by 12. That means you're like this, 12 by 13. Okay, 12 by 13. So sorry, actually it is 13 by 12. Okay, 13 by 12, dividing 13 by 12, 13 by 12. Okay, so we have to go for the equations 13 and 12. This is your 13 equation, that is 2BAP equal to F0 sine phi is 13, and this is A omega square minus P square equal to F0 cos phi. So 13 by 12 will be equal to F0, F0 got cancel, so it will be sine phi by cos phi will be equal to F0 sine phi by cos phi and 2BAP by A omega square minus P square. Yes, left hand side. Okay, so F0 got cancelled, sin phi by cos phi will be tan phi, and this A got cancelled, and we found 2BP by omega square minus P square, right? Then phi we can found tan inverse 2BP by omega square minus P square. So the steady state solution, um, whatever we can consider that x2 is equal to A sine pt minus phi, this one, this A sine pt minus phi now can be written as, instead of A amplitude we can write, that is, here we found f0 by omega square minus p square whole square plus 4 p square p square. So x2 will be equal to f0 by omega square minus p square whole square plus 4 b square p square root over into sine pt minus phi. Right, it is equation number 15. Okay, now the complete or the full complete general solution, which is nothing but your equation number 5, that is xt equal to x1 plus x2. If we are going to write, then what we can write? Already x1 we found. X1, that is your complementary function. X1 we found a e to the power minus bt sine beta t plus phi. Here x2 we found this much. So we can write the complete solution is equal to a e to the minus bt sine beta t plus phi. A sine pt minus phi, x2 is nothing but a sine pt minus phi, or you can write this one also. Here instead of a you can write this much also, no problem. Okay, so this is your complete solution of a forced harmonic oscillation. So equation number 16, this 16 equation number, the first term, this is the first term is the transient term, whatever we discussed in detail in the last video itself, which is gradually dies out. That means it is like a damped harmonic oscillator. And second term, this one is the describes the steady state behavior of the oscillator. This is describes that the behavior under a applied force, external applied force, which represents your steady state. That means steady state means oscillation is continuing. The oscillation can be continued if and only if this oscillation can be continued if and only if a external force, a periodic external force is going to be applied on the oscillator. Okay, now we have to go for a new topic of this force harmonic oscillator, that is new section, you can say new section of the forced harmonic oscillation, that is your resonance. This is one of the important section of this forced harmonic oscillation. First, I'm reading whatever I'm here written, then I'm going to be explain. Okay, so the phenomenon in which the amplitude of the forced harmonic oscillator becomes maximum, this word you have to remember for the resonance, and these two words, amplitude, maximum. Amplitude will be maximum for a particular value of a frequency of driving force is called resonance or amplitude resonance. So what we discussed in last class, that if oscillator is oscillating simply without any applied external force, then this state is called as your transient state. Means it is dies down, its amplitude gradually dies down, and at last it will be stopped. This will be the so-called transient state. But to continue this oscillation, we have to apply from the outside a external force with a different frequency as compared with frequency of the oscillation. So what will happen? Initially it could not be follow, the oscillator could not be follow the applied frequency, but after sometimes, well, after long time, then it will follow the frequency of the applied force. This much we have been discussed. Okay, but you can see carefully that this is your transient state. Okay, now a force came into the picture. The force is applied with a different frequency. So first it could not be obey, but after that when it will obey, it oscillates with the frequency of applied force. You just see initially its amplitude not that much increases, but after some time, for a particular time, its amplitude is gradually increases because due to the periodic force, the amplitude increases. So the phenomenon in which the amplitude of forced harmonic oscillator becomes maximum. So due to the force, due to the force, due to the applied force, the amplitude increases, right? So when or at particular time, when its amplitude is maximum, amplitude means this much, it is moving this side this much, this side this much, but when it will maximum, suppose this distance is your maximum amplitude. So oscillator reaches its maximum amplitude will be called as the so-called resonance or amplitude resonance. Resonance, or you can say your amplitude resonance. Okay. So the particular frequency of driving force at which resonance occurs is called resonant frequency. So this amplitude, the maximum amplitude, will be occur, or we can found the maximum amplitude for a particular frequency of applied force. We can give this type of frequency, we can give this type of frequency, this type of frequency. Okay, we can give this type of frequency, this type of frequency applied force. You just watch my uh, hand motion. Okay, this is one frequency, this is another frequency, this is another frequency, like this. So for a particular frequency of driving force, for which at which resonance occurs, means maximum amplitude we can found, is called as the resonant frequency. That's it. This is all about the concept behind the resonance. Now we have to find out mathematically what will be the value of the maximum amplitude, right? So for amplitude, A will be the maximum. Here we found that when a oscillator oscillates in a forced field, then the amplitude will be nothing but this one. The general form of amplitude will be this much: f0 by omega square minus p square whole square plus 4b square p square root over. So this amplitude will be maximum. That situation, that position, or that condition will be called as your resonance. So here amplitude, that means your this much will be maximum. When it will be maximum? When the denominator term will be minimum. Okay. So the denominator term, so here I written, so for amplitude A will be maximum, the denominator of the expression, this one, has to be minimum. Okay. So we know that if this denominator will be a minimum, that means it's one type of constant. If we are going to consider it is a minimum value. Minimum value means it will be minima. Minimum means it is one type of a constant, right? Constant. So if it is a constant or minima, then it's a derivative. First derivative with respect to p will be equal to 0. So d by dp of this much omega square minus p square whole square plus 4b square p square will be equal to 0, because for maximum amplitude this denominator should have to be minimum. If it is minimum, then it will be considered as a constant. Then the first derivative with respect to p has to be 0. Now we have to consider the first derivative. It will be how much? See, with respect to p, we have to take the derivative. So it is omega square minus p square whole square. First derivative, it will be 2 into omega square minus p square to the power 2 minus 1 will be 1. Again, it is derivative of minus p square, that will be minus 2p, right? Next derivative of this one, here p square is there, 4b square will be constant, 4b square, p square derivative will be 2p is equal to 0, right? You can see that here 4, here 2 into 2, will be equal to 4, but it is minus. Okay, so this can be written as omega square minus p square. But wait, I'm going to write for you. Here I omitted one or two steps, but it is very easy steps. You can do by yourself. You wait. So this will be this line. I'm going to write 4p minus 4p omega square minus p square will be equal to minus 4b square 2 into p, right? So minus 4 got cancel. We can write p into omega square minus p square is equal to 4 minus 4 got cancel, b square into 2p, right? So here p also got cancel. We can found omega square minus p square is equal to 2b square. Okay, I omitted these two steps, so directly I written omega square minus p square is equal to 2b square. So that implies p square will be equal to omega square minus 2b square. So p will be pr. This is what? This p is nothing but your frequency of applied force. You have to go to the initial point where we defined the applied force. Here you can see that here the external force is nothing but F0. External force is nothing but F equal to F0 periodic. It is sine function means periodic. Sine pt. Okay. And amplitude is nothing but F0 and frequency is p by 2 pi. Right? Or angular frequency is p. Only frequency is p by 2 pi. So this p is indicates the frequency part of applied force. Frequency part of the applied force. This is the frequency part of your oscillator, natural frequency part of your oscillation. But it is angular. We know that omega is equal to 2 pi by t, or 2 pi into frequency, or frequency is equal to omega by 2 pi. This is the frequency, this is the angular frequency. No problem. Okay, so this is your frequency term belongs to applied force. This is your natural frequency terms of the oscillator. So here P will be equal to PR, because we consider that A has to be maximum, that means denominator has to be minimum, and the first derivative should be 0, means at last we found P should have to be equal to omega square minus b 2b square root over. For this condition, when P means applied frequency will be equal to this much, then we can found the resonant condition. Only for that situation we can found resonant condition. So the resonant frequency will be how much? I told that frequency will be here omega by 2 pi, likewise PR by 2 pi. So PR by 2 pi will be equal to omega square minus 2b square root over whole divided by 2 pi. Equation number 18. So this is your resonant frequency of what? Of applied force. If external force is going to be applied with the frequency of this one omega square minus 2b square by 2 pi, then this oscillator will be attain the maximum amplitude. Then the oscillator is going to be attain the maximum amplitude. But if damping is small, now we are going to consider some different type of cases sideways. But if damping is small, that means PR is approximately omega. If there is no damping, then natural frequency will be equivalent to the applied frequency. So we have, in the absence of damping, the amplitude resonance occurs when the frequency of the applied force coincides with the natural frequency of the oscillator. Okay, for the value of P equal to PR is equal to omega square minus B square root over, the value of the maximum amplitude is, now we have to what we found here, we found that when P equal to P or PR will be equal to omega square minus 2B square root over, we can find the maximum amplitude. Now we have to put, instead of P, here P square is there, here P square is there, so instead of P we have to put this value. What amplitude we can find? Let's see. So for simplicity expression, we have been only substituted over here. That means here we have been substituted as uh, omega square minus 2b square root over. So it will be omega square plus 2b square minus omega square plus 2b square. Omega square minus omega square plus 2b square whole square plus 4b square p square. Right? Omega square got cancelled. Then this 2b square whole square will be 4b to the power 4 plus 4b square p square. 4b square p square will be equal to f0 by, we can take common as 4b square. If from the two term, here root over is there, so outside the root over it will be 4 beta b square means it will be 2b. So inside the root over we can found b square plus p square. Let it is equation number 19. From equation number 19, it can be found that the maximum amplitude depends on damping factor B. Okay, if damping is small, here maximum amplitude depends upon damping factor. If damping is small, maximum amplitudes becomes large. Okay, so for a different type of damping, if you suppose the oscillator is oscillating in a air medium, what is the damping? You just imagine. Suppose this oscillator is oscillating in a air medium, the resistance or damping you just imagine, and this oscillator is going to be oscillate with a highly dense gas medium, then the damping will be increased, right? If this oscillator is going to oscillate in a water medium, then the damping also will be increases. Like that, if the damping or the surrounding resistance is going to be increase, here the denominator also increase, and a maximum for that particular oscillation will be reduced. If small, if the damping is small, if b factor is small, obviously a maximum will be increased. Okay, so maximum value of amplitude will be more or will be large if damping will be small. So for b equal to 0, if we are going to consider b equal to 0, the denominator will be 0. So something by 0 will be infinity. So a max will be infinity, which is not practically possible. Here I written in the bracket for your just convenience, that you have to know that this could not be practically possible, that b will be 0. A oscillator oscillating without any your what you can say damping factor. Or I can give you one simple example where the b will be 0 and you are not going to get oscillation. You just imagine, see, this oscillator is oscillating, you why it will oscillate? See, I given a force, then it is oscillates. Okay, here damping is air resistance, the hook, right? That, suppose you just imagine the space where the air's resistance is very less, so this much oscillation if you are going to give, it may not be oscillate, it will be moved to the up, and it will be just uh, one type of rotation you can found, one type of rotation. This type of oscillation you are not going to be get. Rotation, that rotation may not be uniform. You got my point? So here you can see the maximum amplitude means infinite, which is infinite amplitude which is not possible practically, that I'm going to say. Okay, when B is equal to 0 situation. So up to this we have to stop over here our discussion today. Next class we are going to discuss about sharpness of resonance. So I suggest to all of you that go through this video and pause the video, write down the note perfectly. If you got any doubt, you ask me, I will be clarified to you. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.